guys, so in today's video I'm going to be reading another book called, actually I best not show you, Cranky paws, sorry, not Cranky, Cranky. So I'm only going to read like 8 or 9 pages of this and then move on to another book tomorrow, because this has, how many pages does this book have again? This book has 87 pages, and I know I won't be able, this video can't hold more than about 13 minutes, so I can't exactly read a lot of it, but I can read up to the last bit of the first chapter, which finishes as the word plaster, so, because this is a whole collection of stories in this one, so up to where it says plaster, that's where it finishes. That's where the first chapter finishes, which is the first, that story finishes, and then another story carries on. So I'll just read you that one. Chapter 1 is called The Beginning of Things. All the patients that come to Pet Vet Clinic are interesting. Okay then? But some are more interesting than others. Take Cranky Paws the cat, for example. Her name wasn't really Cranky Paws, but that's what Dr. Jeannie and I called her. I'd never met a cat who has so determined to hate everyone who was so determined. Cranky Paws came into our lives. Soon after we moved into Calfork House, Dr. Jeannie had just finished her training at Jean Dabar Veterinary College. She took over at Pet Vet because Dr. Max, her grandfather, wanted to retire. Dr. Max helped Dr. Jeannie to learn her routine. His cockatoo, Whiskey, did the same thing for me. On our very first day, Dr. Jeannie and Dr. Max drove out in the Pet Vet van to visit a sick cow. They left Whiskey and me behind to Calfork House. As soon as the van had gone, Whiskey undid his cage bolt with his beak and climbed into the top. He looked down at me. I looked up at him. I don't know what he was thinking, but I was wondering if I could reach up to tweak his tail. Don't even think about it, Dog, said Whiskey. I pricked up my ears. He was talking like a human. I'd heard him do that before, but he'd been squawking about biscuits then. Don't stare, Dog, said Whiskey. Time's a-wasting, and there's a lot to learn. I cocked my head to one side, sorry. I've got lots of time. I'm going to sniff around the yard and then dig for bones under the back step. I didn't expect Whiskey to understand me. Animals speak their own language, just like humans. Dogs and cats. Dogs and cats understand some human speaks, I think I meant speech, which is why I had understood Whiskey. But you won't often see a rabbit talking to a hen. Whiskey did understand both. He answered me right away. And what's more, he did it in dog speak. Forget bones and steps, Dog, he said. And don't even think about treating my tail feathers if you're going to be a good ALO. I don't know what that is. You have to get started now. What's an ALO? I asked. Whiskey flapped his wings. An ALO is an animal liaison. Oh, right. I shouldn't have asked him. Officer, he said. Only very lucky vets have one. You want your doctor, do you need to feel like lucky, don't you? But I don't know what an animal liaison officer is. Mum and Dad never taught me about that. Whiskey scratched his crest with a claw. An animal liaison officer is an animal who acts as go-between between animals with problems and gets humans who want to help them. Get it? I liked the sound of being a go-between. Good, I said. Terriers do a lot of going between toys and bones, and food and friends, and Whiskey flapped his wings again. Enough! You have a lot to learn, dog. And I'm the cockatoo to make it happen. Pay attention. Stop looking at my tail. I am a terrier, I explained. Terriers notice everything. We chase things that move, and we bark at things that don't. We dig and we leap and we seek. That's all part of what we do and what we are. You have to learn. Be an ALO first and a dog second, said Whiskey. Noticing is good for an ALO. Chasing is bad. Chasing is bad. Save your digging for your days off, and stop looking at my tail. He leaned right down, so his beak was close to my nose. It was grey and curved, and it looked as if it could give a nasty nip. I backed away. You are not a pet dog when you are on duty. Trump. I thought it said tramp. Trump, said Whiskey sternly. You are an ALO. Being an ALO is a noble calling. Get it? Get it? I liked the idea of being noble. You must learn to talk to other animals, said Whiskey, hoisting himself back onto the top of the cage. I can't do that, I protested. Dad told me dogs can only talk to dogs. Cats can only talk to cats. Cockatoos can only talk to cockatoos. Cockatoos talk to everyone, stated Whiskey. Being a dog, it will be harder for you, but you must learn this. If you're going to be an ALO, you'll have to learn fast, because Dr. Max and I will soon be going on holiday. Anything a bird can do, a terrier can do better. Apart from flying, of course, I made up my mind. I was going to be the best animal liaison officer a vet had ever had. Dr. Genie deserves the very best. I will learn, I said. Right, said Whiskey. We'll start by introducing you to Major Higgins. He can give you a lesson on cat speak. How many pages has this been now? I don't know. Right. I didn't not be like that. Why'd you go? Oh, I'm on to the next story now. I didn't realise. Oopsies. Right, let's just read chapter 2 then quickly, and then I'll finish up there, and then I'll do chapter 3. And I didn't realise it was split up like that. I thought it was different stories altogether. Diagnosing Dodger, chapter 2. By the time Dr. Max and Whiskey went on their holiday, I had learned to be an ALO. My main duty was acting as a go-between for an animal, patients and helpful humans, especially Dr. Genie. When animals are sick, Dr. Genie explains things to their people and I explain things to the animals themselves. It isn't easy. Have you ever tried to tell a dog with stitches that he must not chew at them? Have you ever tried to tell a cat it must swallow something horrible so it can get well? Sometimes I get distress calls from animals that need my help or advice. Dogs send the most calls because they have loud barks to pass on the information. If it's a cat in trouble, Major Higgins sometimes brings the message. You'll meet Major Higgins later in this chapter. One morning, I didn't actually need to read that bit. One morning, a distress call came just as Davy Waymond, our Saturday helper, arrived at Pet Vet Clinic. Davy is my friend, but I stay out of the way on Saturday mornings when he is doing the clinic cleaning. The smell of disinfectant makes me sneeze. The call came from Dodger, who lives with Cordelia Applebloom. I wasn't surprised to hear from him. Dodger is a healthy border collie, but he often gets sick. Why? Because he eats anything, whether it's good for him or not. He goes anywhere whether it's safe or not. He runs up to anyone, whether they like him or not. He is the kind of dog who acts first, then thinks later. His favourite word is oops. I nosed Dr. Jeannie's leg to let her know I was going out and set off. When I got to Dodger's place, he was scratching and groaning. I let myself into his yard and trotted up to the kennel. It's a smart one with a nameplate on the side. What's the problem? Dodger groaned and stuck his nose out. Help me, Trump. I've got an awful itch. It hurts. Show me, I said. Dodger crept out of his kennel. Then he sat down and scratched at his neck. Ow, he said. There I sniffed him cautiously. He had scratched a sore spot on the back of his neck. I could see another place on his flank where the skin was red and inflamed. It's getting a bit too long now. I won't be able to. Let's just say that's the end of the chapter. I won't be able to do any more. Sorry, guys. But I thought I would be able to do it, but I'll just carry it. The ending of it is basically he goes to the vets and gets it checked out, and he gets treatment on his neck and everything. I've read the story before. I know what happens in all the chapters. But anyway, I'll do chapter 3 tomorrow. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, comment down below, and subscribe. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.